This tutorial is going to describe the use of the advanced search display for the Cologne Sanskrit dictionaries. If you click the A for each of the dictionaries, you'll get a version of this for that dictionary. So let's start out with the Yates Sanskrit English Dictionary. Parts of this are similar to others we've seen, and I won't dwell on them. The icon is the home button. The corrections will bring up a correction form. The help will give some sort of local help for this search. Beside the Sanskrit word item is the kind of encoding that's used for the input. So this is like the input option of the basic display, and this is like the output option of the basic display. So all of those are similar to things we've seen in the other displays, and I'll just leave it at SLP1 for input and Devanagari for output for this discussion. The Sanskrit word search, let's start out and just give a word like deva, common word deva. And in this dictionary, it searches the head words for the word deva, an exact match. So this makes it very similar to the basic display, since the search is exact. Now suppose, however, that we wanted to find words that started with deva, so compounds maybe that were deva, starting with deva, and chose the prefix, and let's see what we get there. We see we get quite a few, and also notice that for this dictionary the search also includes parts of the text that are recognized as being Sanskrit. So here we have Devayati. And although div is not a head word starting with deva, the word within the definition of div is a word that starts with deva, so that's why it's chosen. If the other forms of searching are to look for deva as a suffix, look for words ending in deva. So here we have adi deva, ishta deva, uchcha deva, and so forth. Now, if you want to just quickly, all of the definitions for these words, 20 words, appear in the right-hand part of the display. If you wanted to go directly to Vasudeva, you just click it and the display scrolls to where Vasudeva starts. And we see that it's father of Krishna is the definition here. Okay, so that's all of these words then end with Deva, but notice also that there's a next button now available. So that tells us that there might be more, and if we click next, we get the next 20. In this case, there's actually only 8 more words, Sanskrit words ending in deva. Okay, the fourth kinds of option is called infix, and that means if deva is in the middle of a word. So we'll see. So here we see ati devata, apa devata, and so forth, where deva is properly in the middle of a word. And then the last form, called substring, is really any of the above. It's just where deva appears either exactly or at the beginning or at the end or somewhere in the middle of a Sanskrit word. So if we search we'll get all the ones we looked at before in one list. So here's one where deva is at the end, adi deva. Here's deva itself, and exactly matches deva. Here's devaka, begins with deva. Here's upadevata, where deva's properly in the middle. Now another option of that you can use, suppose we wanted just to see, here we've said that we want to see the words 20 at a time. You can change that. For example, you could say all. And now it typically takes longer for it to get all of them. And it might take quite a long time depending on the word you're searching for. But here are all the words that either in the head word or in the text have deva in the definition. Bhudeva, there's it, a Brahman, and so forth. Okay, so now this output option here really just has one value. Maybe there might be others as time goes by, but you can ignore that for now. Okay, so that's how you search for Sanskrit words. Now you can also, in a sense, do a full text search of the dictionary. Suppose we want to find all the... Now in this case, Shiva is classified as is not classified as a Sanskrit word here. It's just part of the definition. So if we tried to search for all the words that had Shiva somewhere in the text definition, and we're still finding all of them, well, there's quite a few, aren't there? 378. And you can see all of these do have Shiva in the definition in an exact form. Let's change this just to speed our searches up a bit, back to 20. That's a good intermediate value. You have the same options for the way you search for the word. So a prefix means look for words that's in the text that start with Shiva. In the text, we're in the text word area. Well, there don't happen to be any. Also notice that the S here that it said it was looking for is a lowercase, and we put it in uppercase. The searches are case independent for the text word. So we get the same answer if we put lowercase Shiva. Now suppose we let's see. Let's suppose we search for this is a Sanskrit English dictionary, so let's search for words that start with dog, the English word dog. Okay, so dogs, dog trainer, are the two kinds of words that occur in the text. Notice that the word dog itself does not occur because we want prefix means that it's the word we're looking for has more than just dog, but it starts with dog. If we do a suffix, I don't know whether there's any words that end in dog. Let's see. A dog. That might be an error in the digitization. I don't know what a dog means. Let's get something that would be more likely. Let's see. Let's see. Ing. Like watching. Let's see how many ings there are. Well, there's quite a few. Sharing, dividing, and so forth. If we want an infix, that means that, let's look for cat somewhere in a word, somewhere properly in the middle of a word. Well, here we get things where the animal cat is not part of the definition, but the word that we found, imprecation, does have CAT in the middle of it. Locative has CAT in the middle of it. So that's sort of a probably not that interesting thing to look for. If we do cat with a, well, first of all, if we did, probably the best thing for something like cat is to look for an exact search, maybe. Let's try that. So here are various words that, according to this dictionary, have as one of their meanings a cat or some kind of cat. Okay, so that's the basic way of using the advanced search. Now I want to go back to the home and briefly show one other feature which you'll run into for some dictionaries. Here, for the Sanskrit word, you're able to make a choice whether you want to look just at head words or just at text or either one. The Yates was sort of an either one, and it didn't have this option. But let's say we want to look up a Sanskrit word that begins with Deva. Here, all of our words begin with Deva, all of our head words. And we don't, the search doesn't look at the Sanskrit words within the text. Now, here's Diva, a Sanskrit word in the text. Let's look for, and it occurs under Devaka. So let's look for Diva as a prefix. And here we get Divan, Divasa, and so forth. But we don't get that form we had before. But if we looked at head word or text, then we should get we're doing prefix. Let's do a substring. I think we were looking at something like, forgotten what we were looking at now. Well, Deva, for example, has Deva somewhere in it. Now, sometimes you have to look to find where the word that you're searching for. Here's Deva to play. So that's why the word Deva appears in our search. So that's about, I think that all the features of the search have been explained. It's a fairly complicated system, but a lot of people like to use it because you get the full dictionary in a way that you can't with any of the other searches. So that sounds like a good place to stop this tutorial, so I will. Thank you for watching.